This has been so wonderfully prepared. I so much love this place where I am right now of understanding the energy and everything about money. And I want to learn more and more and more. And my question is, on my way to this place where I am right now, I would get these glimpses through the teachings of you. And when I would have conversations with others, then they would try to tell, no, it's not like the money system is based upon how much money is backed up by gold of a country, and that this is a finite amount. And if all of us would want to have more money, then either somebody else would get less, or or it would be inflation, the value of money.
They're right in the sense, economically speaking, that if something must back up the money. In other words, the currency has to have some value. But it's interesting watching your economy, because at one time it was mineral, like gold and silver, but then it became technology. In other words, and everyone knows that there's value in that. Mm-hmm. Then it became entertainment. Everyone knows there's value in that. In other words, so as you stretch your mind just a little bit and you realize that the economics of your world are like your world, or like consciousness in general, they expand exponentially based upon the focus that is put upon it. Mm-hmm. In other words, it's not just that there is value in the veins of the rivers and mountains of your world that need to be mined for this gold, and it must back it up. The value of the economy is as people interact with people and find further and further value in interacting with one another. And so we understand the dilemma that economists have, because even people who understand what we're teaching occasionally feel a little uncomfortable that there is not more. Jerry will pick up a coin and he remembers when it felt like real silver instead of whatever it is now. He doesn't feel like hoarding it and melting it down later into anything, because he doesn't think it will melt down into much. And people complain that, well, when we went to the paper money, that's when the train really left the rails, because that's when they could proclaim it having value that it didn't really have. But we want to say that your economy is not proclaiming value that isn't really there, because an idea is the currency of this time-space reality. Because we understand that in this vibrational reality, that is the real currency, that is the real value. And once it exists, the manifestation will occur. Here's the thing that's really interesting to us as we listen to realists trying to get us to, or anyone, to really understand the reality that they're focused upon, is that everything that you see or hear or smell or taste or touch here in the real world that you are all so excited about, all of that reality is a vibrational interpretation. And so why can't you take the vortex of creation and interpret it into some real tangible goods for yourself? That's where the money came from in the first place, you see.
And now I understand with this knowledge that looking back, this interpretation of the money system being backed up by the gold, that this was an old creation that was helpful for the people back then when they started to trade the money from the gold.
Yes.
But it's not anymore a useful analogy for our now time.
Well spoken.
And
something else really worth thinking about is that the financial downturn that so many are worried about didn't come about because of lack of intrinsic value in the inherent resources. It came about from fearmongers who focused billions of people outside their vortex and therefore deprived them of the well-being that they would have received if they'd stayed in. In other words, it isn't about it. Nothing is about, nothing is as nothing. There is nothing tangible. This falls into the category of what we were talking about earlier about the it isn't what has manifested, and therefore the attempt to control what has manifested isn't where it's at. It's alignment with what is present tense, which is the new reality that you've set forth. Mm-hmm. And if you want to really understand that, study briefly, don't make a career out of it, but do a little research just to give yourself some personal satisfaction at how future-oriented those who, even now in current terms, have been. In other words, they are speculators. They're not regurgitating what is. They are always reaching for what's more. There will be a little bit of time passes before it becomes completely transparent and obvious to everyone. But much of what's going on in your economics right now is because there are speculators in the know who know ultimately where things are going, that are positioning themselves to be in the right place at the right time, because even though they're using different terminology, they are looking forward into what we are calling present tense reality. They are looking forward to that and positioning themselves to be in the right place at the right time when it comes about. And you don't need to be on the inside of those groups that are doing that. You know how to do that here and now. In other words, if you line up with your own dreams, the universe will deliver to you the mechanism with which to achieve them. If this time-space reality has the wherewithal to inspire it within you, this time-space reality has the wherewithal to deliver it to you, you see. But much of the world has to wait around for whoever they think is making the decisions to provide the infrastructure for them to live the more satisfying life that they are reaching for. And we're letting you know that you don't have to wait for one other, that if your life has helped you to conjure the dream, if you will do the only thing that you have the power to do, and the only thing that matters anyway, which is align with your own dreams, this universe has to deliver the mechanism to you. And that we will label economy.